Good afternoon. This is a video for Module 9 in response to Chapter 8 in the Curriculum Foundations, Principles, and Issues. And today we're talking about curriculum implementation. And the process of implementation starts from an understanding that implementation is change and accepting change and being willing to change ourselves in order to implement a new curriculum. And with that also comes the idea that it needs to be done as a process. So it's done in increments. So change happens slowly. And there's different types of change, and there's change within our government and politics, change within districts, change within the teachers and the system as a whole. It's done in parts, so it takes time. And there also has to be communication vertically, which would be between, for example, a principal and a teacher, or horizontally, which would be between teacher and teacher. But that kind of communication must happen in order for a implementation to happen effectively. And also support for teachers and administrators and all of those involved in the implementation. Support with in-service and support from professionals, support monetarily, budgeting for the change to remain and not just fade out because money has run out. And relationships also between teachers and administration, positive relationships and communication in order to implement change. And there are 5 guidelines for implementing change as stated in our text. And one is innovations designed to improve student achievement must be technically sound. So it needs to be research-based. It needs to show proof of the necessity of this implementation. Number 2, successful innovation requires change in the structure of traditional school. So this is also about the way students and teachers are assigned to classes and how they interact. It's important for it to be modified. And number 3, innovation must be manageable and feasible for the average teacher. You can't create or you cannot implement a curriculum that just cannot happen. And the example in the text given is, if you're going to change curriculum to be more about critical thinking and problem solving, but that is not feasible if the students can't even read or write. Also, for implementation of successful change efforts must be organic rather than bureaucratic. So organic, I think, in the means of the way we communicate and how we implement together, instead of it just being a new set of rules you must follow that make it bureaucratic, and usually there's a lot of resistance with that. And the number 5, avoid do something anything syndrome. It really needs to have sound reason, not just to change it just because. And with these changes, there are a lot of roadblocks because you have to be able to address parents' concerns in this. Maybe they don't want the change. We have to find a common ground on what is necessary for the change within our education system. Also, teachers. You have to have the teachers on board with implementing new curriculum too. They have to be able to, like we said, it needs to be feasible. It has to be something that teachers can do. And I know a lot of teachers have a problem with implementing new curriculum because of the workload, and teachers are already really overworked. And so implementing something new usually means more work. So I think that's where a lot of the support from administration would come in to help this implementation. And I see a lot of that and correlated with the video we watched regarding culture and change management in the planning and implementation process for businesses. And he really talked about understanding the culture first, and know that the change has to come from within. We have to be willing to change ourselves in order to create a change elsewhere. We can't just say it and then it becomes bureaucratic. We can't just say it and then not change ourselves. We have to really change from within if we want the change to happen outwardly. But another, I think that the teachers is the main roadblock that I see happening, mainly because it is hard whenever you have a teacher who's been doing something a certain way for so long, to change it up, or to add to their workload. And if we could get the proper support in that area, I think that would really bring a lot more teachers on board with implementing new curriculum. And I have personally been involved with a new curriculum that we started, and it is called Opportunity Culture. And this type of curriculum, it really makes it a team-based for your subject, and you have one, the multi-classroom leader, who would really help those teachers implementing new research, new ideas, co-teach, team teach, step in if there's a issue anywhere in the classroom, they can help. And you really have a professional at hand for anything you need. And I can see this as really helping that roadblock of teachers being able to get over the more work issue, because it is a lot of work and it's hard. And if you have this support here and you have that leader, can help relieve some of that extra work in implementing the new research, technology, curriculum, anything it is that is going into the classroom, and ideas. And I think that's all I have. And thank you. Have a good evening.